So today, I want to talk about resilience and resist. I want to bring it up that people just criminally ignore these stats slash mods, and it's kind of a joke considering a lot of people complain that the harder content they play, the easier they die, and they say it's unfair that they get one shot by this, one shot by that, they die super quickly to this, and then you would take a look at their stats and be like, oh, this guy has 2 resilience and no resist mods. I can't imagine why the boss one-shot him in a Grandmaster. Go figure, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, so the lower your resistance is, obviously the higher the chance that you die to a high-level enemy. Like, for example, that I just mentioned, if you have 2 resilience, you will never survive anything from a boss, ever, in a Grandmaster. And that's how it should be. You should be punished for not investing into the proper stats. Literally, GMs are about survivability, and if you just ignore resilience and resist mods, you're ignoring your entire point of survivability, other than recov, and recov only activates once you've actually survived a shot from something. So, let's go into resist mods before I actually show footage on the screen. So this particular season, we have a artifact mod, Thermo Shock Plating, that gives you free solar and arc resist all in one. Not only that, but you can actually wear 2 of them if you wanted to. And on top of that, if you wanted to, you could run a corrupted chest piece or whatever armor piece you want on each character, and hypothetically you can make it void and then run 2 thermo shock platings and void resist, covering all 3 elements in one armor piece. But by the way, in case you're wondering, no, you can't stack 3 of these. It does nothing. It doesn't, even if it lets you, statistically it would do nothing. So the limit is 2. Just keep that in mind. But getting back to the point, people just ignore this for no reason. For example, I'll show it on screen, but let's take the Vandal Snipers in Glassway, for example. By me wearing 5 resilience and me wearing the proper resist mods, I'm able to tank a shot from a Sniper Vandal in Glassway on GM. You may not think it's a big deal, like, oh, you tanked 1 shot, what do you do? But tanking 1 shot from a sniper shot or a boss hit is a huge deal when it comes to doing stuff like Grandmasters. It could be the difference between you wiping and you surviving and resting your teammates and then completing the strike. Do you want to take 20-30 minutes in a GM and then die because you ignored your resilience or your chest pieces? No, you don't, right? So, let me go into some examples. Alright, I'm at Scarlet Keep. This is the current GM of the week, and I already have Conquer, so I don't really have a choice of showing other GMs, but as you can see, I am not wearing any resists. 5 resil and no resist. Bam, I am dead. 1 shot, just because I decided to ignore my chest piece and, you know, not use common sense. And yes, this has Arc Acute Burn, no, that is obvious, but you could just have avoided it if you just put on resist. And in fact, let me show you that. Be right back. Here we go. So this time I am back and I have my solar and arc resist on. Obviously this one's going to be arc specific. Champion's over here. So let's see how different this is now. So as you can see, obviously you die quickly, yes. But I was able to tank that one first initial shot before I was killed. That can make a huge difference between you instantly dying and providing nothing to the fight, or you being able to take a shot at him and then possibly triggering him to go into his barrier phase before taking a second shot at you, thus giving you the opportunity to stun the champion and survive and not take a death, not use a res token, etc., etc. That makes a huge difference in endgame content. It's the same thing if you're going to do a Master Vogue, Master Vow Disciple when that drops. It's the same thing. You still want to pump resilience, you still want to pump your resist mods depending on the encounter. It all does matter in the end. A lot of people just don't do this and then they die and they're like, Bungie, this game sucks. I don't want to play a game where I just get one shot by literally everything. Well, yeah, you're going to get one shot by everything because you just ignore the critical part of base stats on your character, dude. Speaking of which, let's go back in one more time, and this time I'm going to tank my resilience and see how good it looks. By the way, I wanted to mention one more thing while we're flying down here again. Just keep in mind, this is just me showing you what a champion does to you, and champions typically are at the ceiling or near it of boss damage, but also keep in mind that this does matter when you fight trash mobs as well. When you're fighting, let's say, this Acolyte right here, and you have Void Resist on, and he's a red bar enemy, he's shooting basically primary ammo at you. That obviously does less damage than a boomer shot. So let's say if I have everything off, you'd only be able to eat like 3 shots from this guy. But then if I have all my resist mods on and my resilience, then maybe you eat 6, 7, 8 shots, and that is clearly a significant difference. So with that being said, let's get to the champion. We've returned. I have 2 resilience on now, and I have the same resist mods on. So I only tanked my resilience. Let's take a look at how disastrous this is going to be. So this time you noticed that I was in red health after 1 shot, where previously I was not put in red health when I had my resilience up. Not a gigantic difference overall, but you can see that there is a difference in you having low resilience or middle tier resilience, and this is just a boomer. Keep that in mind. We're not talking about actual snipers like Vandals, Hobgoblins, Scorn, whatever the hell those dudes are called, and obviously Boss. I'm ready to do the dips. Characters. Overall, I think I've made my point. Resilience does matter. I'm not saying it's like the most world-breaking thing in the world and you have to have 10 resilience to play the video game, but even having a mid-tier of 5 can make a gigantic difference and literally save your life over the course of a GM Nightfall or a Master Raid or whatever you're doing. And that's it. That's just the point I wanted to make. Use your mods, use your armor pieces properly for statistics. Don't just blame the game for literally everything, you know. I swear, it's not that hard. Some stuff is hard. You get what I mean. Alright, that's it. That's all I wanted to mention. Resist. The thumb in the air. You can't see my face, but my thumbs up. Yep. Alright. Later. Also, like, share, subscribe. It does help the channel. Alright, take it easy. Goodbye.